Welcome to the Success Journey Show. Let's travel together through the lives of individuals on the road to success.
Hey, what's going on, travelers? It's Ricky Ventures and Marlon Madden. And yes, we are back with you, your favorite time of the week on the Success Journey Show. I think I'm going to add a new thing in there. Your favorite time of the week.
Yes, sir.
Journey Show. What's going on, Marlon? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Ricky. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing well, man. You see, I got my work shirt on, man. You know, I get done with my work day and I go and find some things around the house to do. Got a lot going on. So I had to change the clothes. Sometimes, man, I'll just go start working in my clothes I had on from work, my nice shirts. And then over time, like, man, I got no shirts. Why? Because they got putty on them. They got paint on them. They got all these different things, all the sweatpants all messed up. So I had to change it to my work clothes. You know, back in the day, it was change it to your play clothes. You know, after school. Now I got to leave work and go change from my work clothes to my working clothes and get some work done around the house, man. But other than that, man, I'm loving this heat. I'm not even gonna lie. I love it because the alternative was freezing cold, and I hate the freezing cold. So
yes, sir.
Love it. Yeah, man. What about you, man?
Hey, Rick, something just popped in my head just a while ago. You know, I'm a spontaneous guy. And, you know, me and my wife, we drink a lot of this right here. It's coconut water. We're from the islands, we like coconut water, but, you know, it's from Goya. If anybody is listening to this and Goya, you can be on our show. This could be posted up right here every show, and you could get a spot on our sponsorship.
There you go.
Right? So, hey, for now, I'm going to turn it this way. You ain't commit yet. But if you commit.
Once you commit, there you go.
Boom. You get a nice thing. Hey, yeah, Rick, I'm sure by now everyone have seen FCF. We partnered. Yo, I'm telling Rick, I really love where we're going, where the company is building to. Down in Atlanta, we did 3 interviews, FCF, Fan Control Football with three of the guys that are in the playoffs, and their story is phenomenal. We're doing Ricky had made the name Under the Helmet. That's what Under the Helmet series. When he said it, it just hit me. Under the Helmet.
Yeah.
So it's the Under the Helmet series. It's going to be separate from this, and I want you guys to lock this in and blow this stuff up, because these guys that we interviewed, those guys are really showing stories of dream, drive, discipline, and diligence, right? Dream, drive, discipline, and diligence. And we really want to commend those guys for what they're doing, and just rock with us while we grow this thing and turn into some form of network.
Yep. Just rock with us. So, hey, listen, guys, man, we always love your support and your help. For those that are listening to us from all over, it's just great to know that we're not here just talking to ourselves. But even if we were, you know, we'll be satisfied. But share this with somebody, right? Share this with a friend. You know, leave a comment, leave a review. You know, give us some ideas of any other guests that we can interview. We've been grateful to have some phenomenal guests. Usually we'll go on a break. You know, in the years past, we've gone on a break. Not this year. This year, we're keeping it coming every single week. And we're hoping that you guys are enjoying that. So we're going to keep it coming as we're getting these guests here that are willing to share their stories. And before we move into our guest for the day, just remind you to go to successjourneyshow.com. Check out the merchandise we have on there. If you want a shirt like Marlon, Dream, Drive, Discipline, Diligence, go ahead and get one. We will send it right to you. If you want a book bag, get one. You know, you're going to start seeing a lot more people rocking the book bag. You know, a lot more people getting their book bag in hand. You know, seeing it. You know, you'll see. If you haven't, go check out our Under the Helmet series, where you see some other products that are on display there. Guys, man, we're just trying to make a space, make a name, and in a space the space in the name we're trying to make for ourselves is really to benefit others and showing them a path forward in life, that they don't have to be victims of whatever circumstance they're in today, right? It doesn't matter what you are today. It's about what you want for yourself tomorrow. You're going to really hear that resonate with the guest that we have coming to you next as he shares his story. Man, I can go further with it, but I'm gonna get in trouble. So listen, guys, tune in, stay tuned in, check us out. You're gonna love this next part with our friend Stu Goffman, phenomenal gentleman. Stay tuned. He's coming right up. Peace. All right, travelers, we have come to my favorite segment of the show. You guys may love, the first part when me and Marlon just rambling on, but this segment of the show, we get a chance to really sit down and talk to someone about their journey. They'll go to behind the scenes, the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, the ugly, and all in the effort to help you as you're on your journey, be able to identify, hey, it's a journey. Success is not in the destination, but it's in the journey. So today we have none other than Stuart Goffman, and he's going to share his story with us today. Stuart, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Absolutely, and thank you for having me. And congratulations on the great success of your podcast.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you
It's an
very
honor
much.
having you on. And I know Stu and I were chopping it up a little bit. Man, he had a chance to inspire me before we even got on camera and press record here.
And I missed it.
Yeah, Marlon missed it, man. This slacker, Marine, or slacker. He doesn't represent all the Marines out there, so I think we're in good hands still. But anyways, Stu, why don't you start off by sharing with our travelers just a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm 55. I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. And now I am the CEO and the co-founder of Picked Cherries, which is a social podcasting app. So you can share podcasts like never before.
Love it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, you said you've been an entrepreneur for a long time. When you first, we always often ask this question to individuals that are seasoned entrepreneurs, as I would like to call it.
You're calling me old, huh?
No, experience. Experience.
All right.
Hey, whichever adjective you use, Rick, he's not gonna get over
it. When you started this entrepreneurial journey, was it called entrepreneurship?
No, maybe it was hustling, but I don't know if that was the word back then. But now it's hustling.
Yeah, right.
In between jobs.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was an entrepreneur. I did my own thing, and Ricky could tell you. And when I was doing, everybody's like, "So when are you gonna start doing something?" And I had my own cat. I had my own cab in New York, and everybody was like, "So when are you gonna start doing something?" And I was like, "What? I am." It wasn't the cool thing.
So some people don't understand.
They don't understand. To take us back, Stuart, as you embarked on this entrepreneurial journey. What were you looking at? What opportunity was it that you saw? What sparked in your mind that said, "Hey, you know what? I think I want to do something and grow something on my own here"?
Sure. My dad was a CPA. I am a CPA. My two grandfathers were CPAs. So I guess I have to be a CPA.
And the gas system.
Yeah, and I was miserable. I did. I would do taxes and everything, and I was more of a consultant, but we did some taxes, and I'm like, I want that guy's a tax return. I don't want to say, wow, I got this guy, and so I wanted to do something on my own. I didn't know what it was, and I moved to Florida from New Jersey. And I was working for a consulting firm, and one of a good friend and a good client said, "Listen, if you want to be on your own, I have this big case, but you have to tell me in a week." And so for the next 4 or 5 days, I'm like, all right, either continue what you're doing and don't complain, or go on your own and make it happen. So I went on my own, and I was probably 28. Yeah, so I've been working on my own for a long time now. And there's, just like you said, a lot of ups and a lot of downs. And people don't understand that, it looks like everything is under control, but in your mind, and you're trying, to sleep, and you can't sleep because everything is, going crazy in your mind. And, but that's I guess the life and the career that I signed up for.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, but the good thing is that you still have that CPA
Yes.
because that CPA comes in very handy when you're on your own, because you have to be very crafty when you have your own business we don't want to say it's not circumvent tax, it's actually using the laws to apply to your business to get the best result.
Well, it's more of the discipline and the budget, and seeing things, and just just not taking it for face value. And so I am creative, but I also have that discipline that me and Ricky were talking about. Like I get up at 4:30 in the morning, no matter what happens. If I go to sleep at midnight, I'm still going to get up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, no matter what. I go to the gym, so it's I'm very disciplined. I know you're a military guy. I'm not, but I admired what you're doing.
Oh, thank
and
you.
I honor you, but I take some of the discipline that you supposedly have.
Time is not one of them, Steve. I'll tell you that one.
Hey, Stuart's taking them shots, man.
Well, I can take some shots. I'm in Florida, and you're in Virginia, so I can do that.
Definitely. Hey, Stuart, I'm telling you, I was very impressed by your by your app, and I would definitely want to know what was the thought behind it. I know we kind of briefly talked about it on the phone, but what was the birth of it? I'd like for people to hear how your train of thought happened, and then from your thought, you made it into an idea.
So, Elon Musk says good ideas are always crazy until they're not, right? So, I was going to the gym, used to listen to Joe Rogan, and at 5 o'clock in the morning, if he said something that resonates with me and, let's say, Ricky, I would, text Ricky in the morning and say, hey, listen, download Joe Rogan, download this episode, go to 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 30 seconds. And he was talking about, working out. And I would call Ricky in the afternoon, and I said, hey, did you listen to that? And everybody says, no, I would never do that. And so that is the genesis of how Picked Cherries started. A 60-second Picked Cherry, which is a 60-second clip that it's very easy to select and share with your friends and family, or you can post on social media. So it's really easy, and it's really good for the podcasters, because your friends and fans and listeners will share, and that will increase your reach, increase your audience, And also it's more engaging for you and your fans. And for the, the fans and the listeners, everybody loves to share. I mean, we all learned during the pandemic that we are social beings. So, I'm a little bit embarrassed, but when I wake up in the morning, I go to obviously Picked Cherries, but I also go to TikTok. And yeah,
We find out Stu is making the music videos on TikTok, the dancing videos.
I'm just, listening to, some motivation or whatever and sharing it.
Yeah.
And everybody likes to share.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, so, that is the whole idea. Taking a isolated activity, listening to a podcast, and then making it a shared experience with sharing, Picked Cherries. So, that is the whole idea. And as an entrepreneur, I don't know if it's maybe is not, I always put myself on the line. And, and that's the whole thing of being a entrepreneur. One of my other companies, it is a TV show that I created. And when we, we were all over the US filming people, and everybody said, I had the same idea.
Yes, sir.
It's easy to have the idea. They always say that ideas are welcome, but execution is honored.
Yes.
So, and listen, just like you said, there's a lot of down days, to match the, high days. And, but, that's the, that's the life.
Definitely. So now, one thing I always, or our listeners are probably wondering, I don't know if you could go in depth with this or explain how it works. When somebody creates an app, how do they monetize that app to gain any kind of value for themselves? Because of course, when you create something, you actually create it for the world, but in turn, how do you gain something for yourself?
Well, again, there's many apps and there's many business models. Obviously, for us right now, we're just concentrating on getting as many podcasters and as many listeners, and we're going to figure out the revenue model down the line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah, man, that's wonderful, man. I would love to go back a little ways as to seeing where you are now. And I love the story of I figured out this idea while it started off me being consistent and diligent in what I was doing. And it was me being up early in the morning, going to the gym. It was me listening to something as I do routinely. It's me being intentional about sharing to someone that I'm close to, that you took time to make sure you understood what other people were going through or their circumstance, so that you can share something with them that's of value to them, right? Or that you think will be a value to them. And then turn around and acting on that, saying, I can do this at a larger scale. Like, all that stuff doesn't come overnight. Like, I love to go back from the other end of it. And you talked about where you got your entrepreneurial spark from, but along that journey in entrepreneurship, how many different ventures have you had your hand in, and what different areas have they been in? And what are some things that you learned along those ways of being exposed to those different areas?
Sure. It's funny. Like, so when I started my consulting firm back then, when I was 29 or so, and this is when the internet was just starting. And so we were doing bankruptcy and reorganization consulting. And And all of a sudden, two women came into my office and they said, I was referred to you. We started a internet company right when the internet started. And we ran out of money, and what should we do? So I took it over. I bought them out. And this is, in a long time ago, maybe in 98. And that was it was Everything But the Baby Inc. And we switched it to Baby Universe. And, again, it goes through, if you could consistently try again and again and again, and the days goes to weeks and the weeks goes to months and years. We went from doing, I think the first year of Baby Universe, we did $100,000 in sales, which was awful. We lost a lot of money. But little by little, we made a little bit of a name for ourselves in the industry. And all of a sudden, 4 or 5 years later, we're doing $20 million. And when we were little, they didn't want us at the industry show.
Yeah.
And then 5 years later, they were like,
They're
"Hey, come on, and we'll fly you out, and we'll take you for dinner." And
Yeah.
as long as you're consistent and you keep moving forward and you fall forward and everything, things normally happen.
Yeah.
And Rick, that was a great question, Rick. And I love the answer because it led me to what your first answer you gave of the monetization. You said the business model is to gain as many podcasters and many listeners, and then you work on the revenue stream on the back end. A lot of the entrepreneurs that I see now, they want that upfront money. And because they want that upfront money, they don't put that 5 years into a company to when the first year you're only making 100,000, but when you're making that 20 million, that now people are like, hey, okay, and they're not willing to put that time in. Talk about the resiliency that you have to, or that what are you doing between that time when you're not making the 20 million, right? And you still have your bills and you still have everything else that's happening around you. Talk about the resiliency and what you're doing to offset that.
Well, again, it's really easy when people come in when you're doing $20 million in sales, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, it just naturally grew. Nothing naturally grows. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, right? And when we were, when we had $100,000 in revenue, when we're losing a lot of money, there's no money. Like you can't. So you just, have to, have a long-term view and just say, all right. And actually, it almost feels good. You really, you're sacrificing, and it sucks, but it also feels good.
Yeah.
So, and that's probably the serial entrepreneur, the people that don't really just do an entrepreneur because it's a cool thing, they will never understand what you just said.
Yeah,
never.
Exactly.
That it feels good that you have to sacrifice, and you're saying, okay, hey, year 1, that's okay. Year 2, that's okay. I can see where it's going. Year 5 is where we're heading for, baby. We had to sacrifice. And you're even saying to yourself, oh, this is going to be a good story once we make it.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting with Picked Cherries. Of course, we love the huge podcasters that are signing up. But I'm always a fan of the underdog. And that's why, so of course, we have, I am Rappaport. He has like 1.2 million weekly listens. Great. We have some really great, very well-known podcasters. But also, I love you guys are doing very well. I love the new podcasters. I am a fan for the underdog. So we like everybody, and it's a really great place to grow.
Yeah.
And when we started, we had the boat boss. It's a friend of mine. Her name is Kim. And I said, hey, this is what I'm thinking. She's like, I love it. She said, I was thinking about this, and we would love, she would love to have these 60-second clips, pick cherries. And so she came in on board, and she went and brought some other podcaster, Julianne Hahn, another one. Like, oh, you either get it or you don't. You guys absolutely got it right away.
Yes, sir.
And of course, when it's, everybody's going to be listening to Picked Cherries, everybody's like, oh yeah, it's great. But you guys and Kim and Juliet and Jeremy, all these people that were on from the beginning, it's a great feeling, and we're all going to celebrate.
You've been listening to the Success Journey Show. You can check us out on our social media on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Also on our website, thesuccessjourneyshow.com. Enjoy the rest of the show.
When it's, household name.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I love the idea. Once I heard, I read the email. I told Rick, hey, I expressed it to Rick. I was like, man, this is a great thing. I said, I'm going to go ahead and sign up. And then I was like, man, I want to talk to the CEO. This is a great idea. We have to get him on our show because people got to hear about somebody and then when, usually sometimes somebody that's a CEO or somebody, you don't have the idea, but somebody was around you with the idea, but you had the money or you invest in it. But then when I heard that it was your actual idea, that was even more sweeter. So we had to get you on.
It's interesting. As you get a little bit older, I mean, you guys are young pups.
Yeah.
When you get a little bit older, you shoot for the moon also. Every this is a big idea, right?
Yeah.
And I don't have my ego involved anymore. When I was running Baby Universe, and I had a e-learning platform also. I was 30 years old or 35, and I wanted to be like, in the papers, and I wanted, interviews or whatever. Now I put together a great team. I was very fortunate. One of my friends was introduced me to Jeff Hoffman. He's from Priceline and Booking.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy. I mean, he's on TV talking about Picked Cherries. And even my mother was like, wait a second, that was your idea. And I'm like, no, this is a team, event.
Yeah.
And everybody has their own lanes. And that is, that's when you're going to be successful, when there's no egos. And it really is a great, we have a great team, and we have some technologists, we have some lawyers, we have some marketing people, and a bunch of podcasters. And again, I appreciate your, your seeing the vision at an early time. And I really appreciate you guys being on our platform.
Oh man, thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
It's an honor to be on there, man. We, as being looking at things from our perspective, we're always, doing like bootstrapping, bootlegging, and really just building up. And we definitely see the value in just the build up process, right? seeing the beauty in its infancy and also being able to see what it can be in its maturity, and just really buying in early in the game and saying, hey, man, how can we, add value with this? I mean, that's what it's all about. We look at things, how can we add value, not just take value, but how can we add value to something that's trying to be born and birth, and help go take it to the next level. So, man, we love the fact of being able to be a part of this, and just like Marlon said, sitting down and talking to you, that is the brainchild of this whole thing, and we have a high level of respect for people, as you mentioned it earlier, not only think of something but execute on it.
Yes.
Right, execute on it and see it through, because there's so many people that talk about all the great ideas and all the great things that they want to do, and I got to the point where it's like, I don't care if it even falls flat on his face, just do it, right? Don't let it be, I just didn't do it. No, just execute on it and push it through. So, man, really love your perspective, love what you're doing, and just loving really learning about just, the man behind, the myth behind the Picked Cherries.
It's going to be, I don't know for you, because you guys are young.
Yeah.
Weeks and months fly by, right? And all of a sudden, we're going to be here. You'll interview me. It's late for me, but in 3 years, right? And
Yes.
all of a sudden, your podcast will take off. Picked Cherries would take off, and it's a great feeling.
Correct.
To grow together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Stuart, our fans would kill me if I didn't ask you about that chandelier in the back. That thing is nice.
Actually, I am in the clubhouse of my condo.
Okay.
If I was trying to do it at home, and my dog, I have a 8-year-old fox terrier named Boss.
Oh,
and
man.
Boss is the boss. And this is a helpful tip for everybody. Do not, name your dog Boss, because he really thinks he's a boss, and he is. So I was setting up for this interview, and all of a sudden he's, wants to play, and he wants to do this, and I'm like, all right, this is not good. This is not good.
It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Oh man, I love it.
Yeah. So is it, I know you have other endeavors, but I know you say you have. Do you still have the internet? That company?
No, you know what? This is years ago. I mean, I don't know, 15 years ago. We sold both the education company and the e-commerce company.
Okay.
I started a treatment center for mental health and addiction after a friend of mine died. He was a great businessman and a raging alcoholic. And, and I was trying to help him. I had no idea about how to help someone that has substance abuse. And when he died, I started a treatment center. And I learned a lot about mental health, addiction, and recovery. And when I sold that, I'm like, you know what? I'm sure you guys have seen Intervention on A&E.
Yeah.
So I want, that is essentially the story of addiction. And I wanted to do this story of hope and inspiration and second chances and redemption. So I started Addiction Unplugged. And we were right after Intervention on A&E in 2019.
Okay.
And we're going to probably do it again soon. And again, that is, I've never done anything in media nothing in media or TV, and you just dive in, and see what happens.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. Hey, I want to thank you for doing that. In the military, and it's no secret that we have a lot of guys that go from alcohol is usually the thing that happens. And it's funny, I had a business partner or an investor, silent investor that I had, and rest in peace, Dimitri. He was in California, and he was pushing me too to also do a substance abuse and a center. He was like, "You have to do it because there's so many military guys that need this program." And so I want to thank you for doing that out of the bottom of your heart to help people.
We did one episode, the wounds of war. And it was a gentleman, I think he was in the Army. He lost both legs, and he was telling his story, and he wanted to stay away from the opiates and all the things, and he discovered yoga, and now he does yoga for other veterans and gives them a purpose, and they can see the bright side, even if they have PTSD and all these things. And another special forces guy had severe PTSD, and he was cured. And then he opened up a treatment center for veterans. And it's really, I love people, just like you said, the underdogs, that they were down, and instead of crawling into a fetal position, they do something to help other people.
Yes, sir.
And so, again, I honor what you're doing, your service, and we should, as a country, do better for the veterans.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we have a couple of episodes that we have with some veterans. You should check it out. Paul Stu, his actual name is Stu Paul. I don't want to mess up his last name, but Stu. We have Gunisar Gallegos. He was actually burnt up, so he's 80% burnt, but he still fought, stayed in the Marine Corps, and he's still serving till today.
Oh wow, that's unbelievable.
Yeah. So you have guys out there that are not letting their ailments or what they're going through stop them from being people in society that's giving back to just to aid the society.
It's a really great thing, and again, for the TV show, we're always looking for people that were down and out, and then they crawled up and dusted off, and they're back, and now they're helping other people. And I love that. I love the all these military guys that are helping others, and it's the human spirit, and going back to being a entrepreneur. It's all about the human spirit and tenacity. I mean, I'm from New Jersey, so I'm a little bit of a, bulldog from New Jersey.
Yeah, we're from New York. We know how it is.
Yeah.
It's a different breed up that side. The
but you guys would send us back through the tunnels.
Yeah, you go over there, but we come over there. We love when people pump our gas. We're like, man,
exactly.
In our
hospitality. That's
yes. This is Rick. I could hug. Me. I love anytime we get the guys that are just thinkers.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rick.
One last question I have for you, and I'd love for you to expound on, and it kind of goes to a little bit off topic, but on topic as to you as an overall person. The topic we were talking about earlier on when we were off screen, and how much it plays into the success of what you're experiencing now. For all those listeners and travelers out there, we were talking about that discipline and consistency, and he mentioned a little bit earlier in this podcast. But you know that being a CEO of an organization and developing things that are extremely successful, sometimes you can get caught up into the life of entrepreneurship, the life of busyness, the late hours, early mornings, the meetings here, there, and there, building teams, all that kind of stuff, clients, serving clients. But one thing that really resonated with me was just your consistency to work on yourself every single day. Can you talk about how that really makes a huge impact on your development of your organizations, your relationships and people around you, and just your mindset as you continue to strive for great things?
As I got older, I realized that, I learned about the law of attraction. You have to be positive in this life. There's so much, especially now, going on in the world, that if watch the news and you have the news on all day, you're gonna, you're gonna be negative, and everybody's divided and everything. And you need to be positive and always see the positive side of life. And so, I'm very disciplined. It works for me. I get up, basically the same time every day. And I have my routine. And that is walking to the gym, going to the gym, and just thinking about, I don't know, a positive, what I want to do today, what I want for the future. And it's all positive, and it's all, of course, you're always trying to defeat the self-talk that is negative. But if you're always trying to see the positive thing side of things, it makes your journey, as you say, so much cleaner and friendlier. And when you see a guy or a girl in the elevator, let's say, and you say good morning or how you doing, and they don't say anything, years ago that would have upset me.
Yeah.
But they're going through their life, and maybe it's not happy today. So I try to see the positive and happy, and it reflects on everything that you do. And again, actually, my sister has worked with me and for me for many years. And actually, we had a bug that we fixed, but normally 20 years ago, I would have gone crazy, right? And now I'm like, all right, you know what? This is a teachable moment, as opposed to me yelling at someone. There's no positive coming out of that interaction, right? So, I can use my well, I'm the CEO and you're not.
Yeah.
And that was me 25 years ago. But I'm the CEO because I started the business. We're all team members, and so if we have a something that is negative, what we pivot and move forward, and fall forward also.
Love it. I love it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Man,
Love it.
that's a great perspective. That's a great
But,
perspective.
I really didn't answer the question.
No. It actually roundabout does, Stu, because Ricky's talking about working on yourself. One thing one thing we in the Marine Corps we talk about is, for one of the leadership traits, is know yourself and seek self-improvement. And you understand from 25 years ago, the result that you got from the interaction of I'm the CEO, you're not, didn't really work. So you revamped till you came to, hey, let's sit down and have a conversation. This is a teachable moment. And that's how someone works on yourself. So it's not only the physical, and we like to talk about the synergy of a person, the physical, the spiritual, the mental portion of someone. And when you're working on yourself, all three aspects have to be worked on at the same time in order to gain that holistic person that's really effective in whatever you do. So you Absolutely. Did answer the question to me in a roundabout way.
And also you attract similar people. So if you're, positive and you're likable and,
yep.
You have that energy that attracts people. And when you're always complaining, you're going to have another, all these complaining people.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, that comes with time and I guess wisdom, I guess. You see, you see someone that is so positive and everybody's around them, and maybe it was luck, but it's not luck, is, working on yourself to be positive. And again, the law of attraction, attracts more like. And if you're thinking about bad things will happen.
Correct.
And, when I was younger, that was, that's nonsense. But you know what? As you grow and you understand the world a little bit, it makes sense.
Yeah. I know Ricky and I'm speaking for Rick on this one. Mm-hmm. We understand that 100% because since we've been doing the podcast, and a lot of people will ask us, well, we'll do a venture and somebody be like, well, did somebody pay you for that? And we're like, that's not what the relationship to us was more important than the money. And we sacrificed, there you come again, that sacrifice. We sacrificed that the monetary portion to build that relationship. And as a result, we end up being at different, that person will say, man, somebody asked me to do a venture and you guys' name came in my head.
Exactly.
And that created some money for us in terms of what, so it worked out for us in the back end, but just like you said, the energy and what we fostered around ourselves in order to others, they could see that and they say, hey, these are some guys that I could vouch for and put them in a certain situation because I know how they are.
Absolutely. I know that you known each other for 25 years.
Yes.
And that is like, there's no money, there's no experience. That's the greatest thing. I grew up with the same guys since I'm 4 years old. And I'm 55 years old. Yeah. And no one, this is the greatest thing in my life, that, when I'm, 80 and I'm looking back, I have these guys that were with me every step of the way, the ups and the downs and the making fun of me and, celebrating and everything. And it's so blessed, and you guys are blessed also. And, it's, it really is. I can't really explain it. Obviously, you experience it also. It's the best feeling.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Rick, I know we have this is a busy man. When he says CEO is a CEO, is a busy man. Yeah, so Rick usually asks him last minute questions that I won't steal his thunder. You see?
Yeah, Stuart, I definitely want to ask you this last question here. And this question is more driven around being, what's the word, retrospective, right? In a way, right? So we asked our guests, and we'll ask you if you had an opportunity to go back to Stuart when he was, 28, when you got offered that opportunity of a lifetime at that time, right? Like, hey, it's an opportunity for you to, go venture on your own. Knowing what you know now, and you had 1 minute to pull yourself aside for 1 minute and just share a word, what will you share with them with knowing your experience that you had today?
Wow, that's a really great question.
Yeah.
I think, I think I would, if I could go back again, I would have more of a long-term view.
Mm-hmm.
I was always, when I was younger, always thinking about, all right, we need to do this by, we need to, build up the company and sell it, and build up a company and sell it. And, looking back, probably not the greatest thing to do. But, I'm a different person now than when I was 30 or 40, actually.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate, the people that are around me right now. And I get reflective even when we're going, we're still doing it right now. And, I always say, like, look around, like, it will never be the same. When we sell it in 5 years or 10 years, there's a lot of things that go on in life during these 5 years or 10 years. So I really appreciate every day. I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful for the opportunity that I have. I am very thankful for the people that are on my team, and maybe in the younger Stu didn't really understand that. So really appreciate the day.
Yes. Hey, Stu, in the morning, I know Ricky's gonna wrap it up. In the mornings, as motivation, click on to the Success Journey Show and listen to some of our podcasts, and you'll get that motivation, baby.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna share the Picked Cherries.
There you go.
Yes, sir. Share the Picked Cherries.
Guys,
Love
really,
it.
I really enjoyed meeting you and talking to you, and much success, guys.
Thank you so much,
sir.
dude. And to all of our travelers out there, we'll see you next week at the same time, the same place on the Success Journey Show. Everyone have a good one. Peace.
One love.
Bye, guys.
You've been listening to the Success Journey Show, where your dreams, drive, determination, and diligence are the foundation to success. For more information, check out thesuccessjourneyshow.com. The Journey Squad is here helping you to your destination.